offline. Hyperdrive offline. Multiple hull breaches detected. Proximity alert. The Ebon Hawk is adrift in space after a terrible battle. Most of its crew are dead or dying. You lie in the medical room in critical condition. You won't survive long without medical attention. The hyperdrive is damaged. Main power must be restored in order to bring the engines online and dock with the nearby Paragus mining station for much-needed repairs. Your fate, and that of the Ebon Hawk, depend upon T3M4, a lone astromech droid. Return to this location at any time to skip the prologue. Press WASD to move T3M4, then turn. Press Caps Lock to toggle first-person free look. Hold Control to look about. You have new quests. To view your quests, open the game menu, default settings, and look at the journal, default game. This run contains the class field cylinder and the communications console. To target one of object, move close to it, left-click on it, or press Q or E to cycle through available targets. To interact with an object, you will come across many containers, some of which will be locked. The computer spike you just picked up can be used at computer... to open the... Sometimes bashing or blowing open a container will break some of the items in the container, but you can use even broken... If you need help exploring the Ebon Hawk, access the map screen by pressing M. This blast door is magnetically sealed and cannot be opened. While some doors can be bashed open or cut open with a lightsaber or cutting tool, some doors require the use of the security skill to open. Use your security skill from the action bar to open this door and search the remains of the cargo hold beyond. This is the talking to other characters is much like using the computer console in the cockpit. Scroll through your response options or move the mouse cursor, and then click to select a response. Note that some responses may influence how other characters react to you, so choose carefully. Furthermore, certain skills, powers, and attributes may modify what choices you have, or how successful you are with those choices. 3CFD is malfunctioning. You can fix him by using a part. Search the ship to find one. If you repair 3CFD, he can can join your party and assist you in repairing the ship. Sensor droids emerged from this box when you opened it. These droids will make for excellent target practice. Use the weapon from this container to attack the droids. You can equip a weapon from the equip screen. Choose your target by pressing keyboard. The object you want to target. To attack an enemy, left-click on the sword icon. To continue combat training, open the metal box again, and more sensor droids will appear. This container is locked and requires a key. Search the ship to find the key to this locker. The lock on this container is too difficult to open. You'll need to use a security tunneler to help open the lock. If you encounter a difficult lock on a container or door, you can use a security tunneler on it to improve your... CFD is malfunctioning. You can fix it by using... If you repair 3CFD, you can... Success! You have fixed 3CFD. CFD is now a member of your party. To change which party member you control, click on this. This is the engine. This door is damaged and cannot be opened with your security skill. This lift will take you to the outer hull of the Ebon Hawk, where you will find many parts and mines to use for accessing and repairing the hyperdrive. Use the lift controls to go up. This is the medical room. You are in critical condition. You will need a med pack to be stabilized. You are in critical condition. You will need a med pack to be stabilized. The med pack can stabilize your condition. Success! You are stabilized. To recover fully, you will require the medical facilities at the Paragus mining station, but you are not in any danger of dying from your wounds right now. This is the main hold. You can hear a banging noise coming from the other side of the door to this storage compartment, but the door is sealed shut and cannot be opened. This old woman appears to be dead. There is a key card on the body that looks like it opens a locker somewhere. This is the medical room. This is the cargo hold. You use the key card you found to open the locker. The impact armor from this locker can be equipped on the equip screen. To open the equip, this is the garage. To access the solo mode default. Click the solo mode button at the bottom right area of the screen. While in solo mode, link Lucy and the security speaker to open the door. To access the area beyond this door, you will have to use solo mode default. Click the solo mode button at the bottom right area of the screen. While in solo mode, link Lucy and the security speaker to open the door. To access the area beyond this door, you will have to use solo mode default. Click the solo mode button at the bottom right area of the screen. While in solo mode, link Lucy and the security speaker to open the door. To access the area beyond this door, you will have to use solo mode default. Click the solo mode. This is the main hold. To access the area beyond this door, you will have to use These sparking wires connect to the trigger mechanism for the inner and outer garage doors. You can open and close the doors from here. Door closed. Do you want to do anything else? This is a workbench. With a workbench, you can break down objects in your inventory into components. Because of the damage to the Ebon Hawk, this workbench has limited functionality. You can still use it to use the workbench to break down the items you've found into components. Then use the components to create a repair kit. This is the starboard dormitory. When the Ebon Hawk has landed, this is where you will go to exit the ship. This blast door is magnetically... This is the garage. These sparking wires connect to the... banging noise coming from the other side of the door to this storage compartment, but the door is sealed shut and cannot be opened from the outside. This is the utility lift. You can use this lift to take you to the outside of the Ebon Hawk. This busted engine port has some needed parts for the Ebon Hawk's hyperdrive. Take the parts here back down below to get main power restored. Don't forget to explore the other side of the bubbles ahead indicate mines that you've detected automatically with your awareness skill. Some mines require higher awareness to detect. Approach mines carefully. They will blow up and damage you if you get too close. You can use your demolition skill to either disable or recover these mines. Recovering mines requires a higher demolition skill than disabling them, but you get to keep the mine, which you can then use to set as a trap. One of the Ebon Hawk's quad laser turrets. They are damaged, but you can scavenge some parts from it to use in repairing the Ebon Hawk. This is the starboard side of the Ebon Hawk. This open hatch has some parts that will be useful for getting main power restored. These exposed wires control the door to the starboard dormitory. The door is currently sealed, but you can override it from here. Success! The door is opened. You can now... this lift to take you back inside the Ebon Hawk. This is the main hold. You can hear a banging noise coming from the other side of the door to the storage compartment, but the door is sealed shut. It cannot be opened from the outside. This is the main hold. This is the engine room. This door is damaged and cannot be opened with your security skill or by bashing it. This is the engine room. The port engine is shut down, but appears intact. Fixing the hyperdrive will allow you... The hyperdrive is suffering badly. You won't be able to make the jump to light speed until it is fully repaired, and you do not have the needed equipment here on the Ebon Hawk. However, you should be able to rig the hyperdrive to restore primary power and bring the port engine online. This will allow you to dock with the Paragas mining station for full repairs. Success! The hyperdrive is online. Primary power is restored. Only one step remains. Return to the galaxy map in the cockpit and travel to Paragus. The starboard engine is badly damaged. Fixing it, the port engine is powered up. You can now use the galaxy map to travel to the Paragus mining station. To access the area beyond this door, you will have to use solo. This is the main hold. You can hear a banging noise coming from the other side of the door to the storage compartment, but the door is still shut. This is the main hold. This is the engine room. You can use repair kits to heal droids like yourself. To use a repair kit, this is the starboard dormitory. You found a droid flamethrower. This is one of the special weapons that droids can use. To equip it, open the equip screen by clicking on the blaster icon in the top right area of the screen, or press View. This is the garage. This is the cockpit. You can now plot a course to the Paragus mining station. To dock with Paragus, left-click on the Paragus planet to select it, and then left-click on the travel button. The sensors show the door to the storage compartment is being sliced. There is someone, or something, else alive on the Ebon Hawk.
Awake.
Still examining the survivors of the damaged freighter. Looks like it goes by the name of the Ebon Hawk. Only one survivor, placed in the coltal tank for recovery. The carbon scoring on the vessel suggests it was in a battle, but no indication of who fired on it. Couldn't get much from the Nava computer. I'm surprised the ship was able to make it inside the Paragus asteroid field without the asteroid drift charts. Aside from the lone survivor, we recovered an old woman. No life signs. There was also a protocol droid and a utility droid on board. Sent both down to maintenance while security sorts through the other items on the ship. It looks like the utility droid, a T3 unit, was able to get the ship working enough to get to the colony. We're prepared to... Could be a Jedi, but we won't know for sure until we get the transmission back from the Republic. If the survivor is a Jedi, that would account for the recovery rate. But I'm more concerned that a Jedi here may cause trouble. Some of the miners, especially Corta, are already Another accident today. A detonation in the ventilation tunnels. If the lockdown measures hadn't activated, the whole facility would have been destroyed. Got most of the injured to the colto tanks in time, but the rest had to go to the morgue. One of the wounded said a droid caused the accident, but we couldn't get any specifics. Miners about the Jedi. A number of the droids have been acting oddly, and not even memory wipes seem to be fixing the problem. There was a detonation in another one of the fuel vents the droids were working in. We deactivated several of them, and moved them down to maintenance. But we're still treating the plasma burns. That cuts us down to almost half shifts, and with the droids malfunctioning, we may not make the Telos shipment for this month. Fortunately, the detonation didn't cause a lockdown.
Warning. There has been a fuel detonation in the mining tunnels. Emergency lockdown commencing. All personnel report to quarters and prepare for emergency venting countermeasures.
No! If the ventilation systems are malfunctioning, evacuate the medical bay! Everyone evacuate!
Find what you're looking for amongst the dead? Close to death. Yes, closer than I'd like. You have the smell of the colto tank about you. How do you feel? Yes, I had hoped as much. I slept here too long and could not awaken. It may be I reached out unconsciously, and your mind must have been a willing one. Or perhaps you have been trained for such things. I am Kreia, and I am your rescuer, as you are mine. Tell me, do you recall what... Your ship was attacked. You were the only survivor. A result of your Jedi training, no doubt. Your stance, your walk tells me you are a Jedi. Your walk is heavy. You carry something that weighs you down. So it would seem. Keep your past and let us focus on the now. I do not know. I was removed from the events of the world as I slept. A survey of the surroundings may provide the answers. The ship we arrived in must still be in this place. We should recover it and leave. We were attacked once, and I fear our attackers will not give up the hunt so easily. Without transport, weapons, and information, you may wish to extend your search to some clothes, if only for proper first impression. I do not know. Why did they spare you? Indeed, a Jedi trance could protect one from such poisons. In fact, the sedatives may have been intended to keep you unconscious. It would prove lethal to those untrained in such techniques, however. Most curious. And so do you. Perhaps we could discuss it at length later on. I have found that answers come in their own time, not ours. I leave you to the explorations of this place. Here I will remain. Yes? What have you found? I do not know. What? Indeed, a Jedi. It would prove lethal. Yes? What? I do not know. Very well.
Emergency lockdown overridden.
This is the exit, but it is sealed. Strange. In my visions, it was open.
Is this thing on? All right, all hands, especially you, Corder. Listen up, because I'm not gonna say this again. The next one of you Juma heads to try and smuggle a blaster, or so help me, any sort of military-grade frag weapons into my facility is gonna take a long walk out the airlock. Why? Because in case you forgot, Paragian fuel explodes at high temperatures. That's what blasted that chunk out of Paragus 2 and created this asteroid field. So if I catch any of you with anything other than sonic charges or mining lasers, I'll burn you and your contract. Security out. And according to one of the miners, it was because one of the sonic charges went off prematurely. And like before, it was one set by a mining droid. The three idiots were grouped so close to the charge, it might as well have been a grenade going off. The blast turned their bones to dust. The blast wrecked the internal components of the droid that set the charge, though, so we can't even dissect it to see what happened. I don't like what's going on here. Ever since that Jedi showed up, things are getting worse. It's not just Corda and his miners, or the fights, but now the droids are acting crazy. If we don't find what's causing this, or who, this facility's gonna be space dust by the time the next Telos freighter arrives. So, you're in maintenance. Then maybe you can tell me what...
Sir, I don't know. It's like their behavior cores are undergoing binary decay, but I can't find the source.
Well, that's reassuring. It isn't happening. So the next time we nearly have a breach in the ventilation, you better give me some answers. I want...
Sir, these droids aren't combat models. Their mining lasers are weaker and less accurate than blasters. I doubt those droids could even hit one.
Are you blind? What about the miners in Medbay? It's sabotage, and it started right after the commander said we weren't going to sell the Jedi to the exchange. So I want you to find out how these droids are being sabotaged. That'll tell me who's trying to clear a path to get that Jedi off the facility. In the meantime, make sure the security's armed with all the ion and sonic charges you can find. If those droids start coming after...
Yes, sir.
Idiot. I installed an... As added insurance, I tied the override switch into the circuit to the holding cell door. It'll make sure it can only be opened if all droids in the level are shut down. I doubt Corda or any of his men have the skill to pull off something. Whoever's responsible won't be able to have the droids rescue him after I lock him up. I secured the stealth field generator inside one of the footlockers in the security storage room. If I have the specs right, the interface field should be effective again. All I need to do is equip the belt, and some skill with stealth in order to use it. As long as... If if any more droids start malfunctioning, the belt should buy me enough time to get to the override switch I set up in the communications blister. I'd rather shut them down than to...
Be careful. There is much energy in the room beyond, yet it stems from nothing that lives. Can you not sense them? Reach out. Cast aside your sight. Cast aside what you see, and instead reach out with your perception. Ah, you can feel them. The droids you cannot perceive, but the small oscillations of energy, that you can feel, echoing outwards. Ah, you hear it. It is faint, but it is there. It is the Force, you feel. It has not been so long as for you to forget. Do not turn away from it. Listen. Feel it echoing within you. Come, I shall guide you down the familiar paths. You will need it if we are to... Beyond this door, someone yet lives. Be mindful. His thoughts are difficult to read. But you have nothing to fear from this one, and he might yet prove useful.
Emergency lockdown is in effect. Turbolifts have... Emergency lockdown is in effect. Emergency lockdown is in effect. Turbolift. Have been sealed to contain the explosion.
Nice outfit. What, you miners change regulation uniform while I've been in here? Atten Rand. Excuse me if I don't shake hands. The field only causes mild electrical burn. Security claimed I violated some trumped-up regulation or another. Take it up with them if you want. But they stopped listening to me shortly before they stopped feeding me. Now that's criminal. You mean before or after that Jedi showed up? Either way, you see, this Jedi shows up, and you know what that means. Where there's one Jedi, the Republic will soon be crawling up your ion engine in no time. But the story gets better. See, some of the miners get it into their ferrocrete skulls that since the Jedi's unconscious, they can collect the bounty the exchange has posted for live Jedi. Well, what passes for the law here didn't like that idea. So the two groups started fighting.
Then there was some big explosion, and then I was sitting here for a long time, waiting for some half-naked miner to show up and ask a bunch of questions.
Don't know much about it. Maybe the Exchange wants one as a trophy. Not many Jedi left. The ones that weren't killed in the Jedi Civil War ended up switching off the lightsabers long ago. Word is there's not even a Jedi Council anymore, but who knows? Yeah, Revan, Malak, and the Jedi that went to join them in the Mandalorian Wars. They turned against the other Jedi and had a scrap that almost laid waste to the galaxy. Where have you been?
Well, I wasn't there, but like all Sith, Revan and Malak turned on each other, after they turned on the Jedi.
I guess. There's rumors all over space about it. All I heard was Revan returned to pay Malak back for trying to kill her in the first place. You know, women. Maybe you're right. Maybe I just hoped Revan was a woman. Look, no offense or anything, but your weird half-naked interrogation. Hey, wait a minute. You're that Jedi the miners were talking about. From my beautiful view in this security cage? Look, I heard some explosions, maybe none of them survived whatever happened. And if they're... Look, hey, let me out and I can help. This facility isn't a military installation, which means we may have a chance. You shut down this cell security field and I can re- No, should I? Maybe you should ask one of those miners who was thinking about selling you to the Exchange. You better watch yourself. I don't like being accused. So you done interrogating me? Great. Now to business. Let's get to the command console. Alright, here we are. Now this console is set on automatic hail. You may have heard it when you came in. The asteroid drift charts are constantly being updated, so it sends out a transmission to incoming vessels so they don't get crushed into space dust. The hail warns them to keep their distance until orbital drift charts are transmitted, and then provides docking instructions to incoming ships, usually freighters. Thing is, you can bounce that same transmission back to the comm here, and suddenly you've got access to the communication system from the inside. Pure pizzazz. The console's ours. Now, all we need to do is reactivate the turbo lifts, cancel the emergency lockdown. Hey! This system's been severed from the main hub, after it was locked down from remote. You can't even reroute the system, it's been cut clean. No, someone tried to lock down this whole level tight, and leave us here, trapped. I doubt it. All we have is communications back. For all the good trying to shout in a vacuum will do it. Be my guest. Not much else we can do.